You fail to understand, and the same incredible terror that's menacing me will strike at you!
Hey guys, thanks for dropping by, all three of you or whatever. I didn't expect a big crowd. I'm just happy to have anybody. This is just some housekeeping I wanted to get done out of the way, but just let me make sure you can hear me if there's any problems. Okay, so why are we here? Well, we're here because I'm nearing completion on my book, and the title, the cover has been done for a little bit, and I wanted to show it to you. Excuse me. It's been a long day. I did a stream with Karen and Jeffrey earlier, and then with Sterling. I'm sure some of you were probably there. Had a couple beers, and now we're ready to do this. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys the new cover of my book. Here we go. Hope you like it. Oh, wait a minute. Right now, I got to pick a different. I need a different layout. That layout's not going to work. Basically, what I did, some of you may have seen, I did a short promo last July. I just threw a cover together. I wanted to start promoting that I had a book coming out. I thought it would be out by September, and it's not going to be out until Black Friday, which is totally fine. So here it is. Okay, so there you go. That's the cover. A little a little homegrown art. I was very fortunate to hook up with a fantastic designer who's working on this. And I have another piece of news here. Hello. Okay, good. I'm just going to leave the cover for a little bit. Auntie Harju says, "Hiya, Mitch," and "Hi, Hugh." Auntie, is that I get that right? Yeah, Auntie. Okay, good. So another piece of news. I was running a caption contest with a photo on my community page, and thank you very much. Glad you guys like it. I took it in kind of a dark direction. I wanted it to be sort of, I don't know, really kind of gothic and German expressionist. I wanted to reflect this sort of evil that like lurks, underneath this glossy looking cult. So anyway, as I was saying, I was running this caption contest. I didn't get a lot of responses. I'm going to try this again, but I did get one that I thought was noteworthy. It was definitely the best. I'd like to share it with you. So here it is. This is me saying, "Did you see Brooke Shields over by the punch bowl?" And Dave was saying, "Yeah, she's been staring at Norman all night. He should go over there. What's the worst that could happen?" Anyway, this was submitted by Ideal Borg, aka CO Bilf. So he's not in the audience right now, but I'll let him know. So what do you guys think of this caption? I wasn't sure if it was maybe there was something toxic about it, but it didn't seem so. Thanks, Julius. Yeah, I think I'm beginning some feedback because it's kind of going through an alpha stage where some very final touches are being put on it. So people are getting to read it in its almost 100% finished state, and I'm getting some really good feedback on it. It's not a short book. Right now, the page count is 420 pages. So you're definitely going to get your money's worth if you're looking for a decent read. So anyway, comments are welcome regarding the book cover. Regarding this caption. Sorry, I'm a little out of it right now. But I appreciate. I guess you're all too overwhelmed by the cover. Oh, and then a couple of other little things that I want to mention. Yeah, let me respond to this. Amy Jones said, I really learned a lot from reading all of the books from different perspectives. It gives a wide view into COS. I think on my perspective is I've read a lot of them and they're all great. And if you've read one, you certainly have not read them all. Mine is very different from all of the other ones, and I think you're going to appreciate it. It also has 3 chapters about my life prior to Scientology, which somebody described as remarkable. But anyway, remarkably traumatic, maybe. But so, with the reveal of the cover, I have a couple of other things that I want to mention. Let me just go in here. So, let me share the screen. So, also, tonight there is we launched a website for the book. So I don't have pre-orders yet, but you can go to mitchbrisker.com. There's a timer when the book's in case you need to know how many days, hours, minutes, and seconds it is to Black Friday. There it is. But you can also leave an email address. You can sign up for alerts. Hopefully we will have pre-orders going on Amazon soon. And then it will be published also for bookstores. So, and then in addition to that, I have launched oh, that's the same one. Sorry about that. Here we go. Okay, so I'm sure you're all looking at this. I've also launched a merch store to promote the book. Now, the merch on here, this is all artwork. I just did T-shirts, totes, mugs, and water bottles. And this is all artwork that was developed for the book. It's a very cool artwork. And basically, this is going to be, I'm raising money for the marketing campaign because, this is self-published, but I'm trying to self-publish into bookstores. Most people just self-publish onto Amazon. I'm trying to take it one step farther. So if this art appeals to you, then just, there's this guy. And like I said, this was all developed for the book. So anyway, that's that. And that's all live. It should show up on let me get rid of this thing. It should show up on YouTube shortly. And so basically those are my big announcements. So I'm going to just go down here and we'll start interacting with one another. I wish you were all here with me. Well, I guess you kind of are. Very iconic. Yeah, I think the designer did a fantastic job. And the interior of the book is absolutely stunning. It's like this person did a fantastic job. And there's a lot more art that was developed for the book. Specifically, there's little illustrations on each of the chapter pages, and we're going to be working those into merch as well because it's amazing art. I'm kind of purposely trying to stay away from doing SBTV merch and so forth because there is a lot of that. I am going to do some stuff from the tech films that like Mark Headley and I have been talking about, like some of the catchphrases, which are pretty funny. Yeah, good thing you love Hardy Books. I was actually shocked when the designer sent me an email and said, got a page count and came in at 420. And this is a 6x9 trade paperback. It's a larger paperback. It's like this size. This is a hardback, but it's the size of this hardback. This is a very good book, by the way. This is the inside story of rock and roll's legendary neighborhood, Laurel Canyon, which happens to be where I grew up. But so to give you an example, this is a 6x9 book, and this book is about 260 pages. So to give you, it's gonna, you'll get your money's worth out of it. It's packed. Let me see, what else do we got here? Have I said tonight that I hate StreamYard? It's just some of this stuff is really difficult to, like, okay, there it is. Hide the comment to find some of this stuff. Morning from Finland. Awesome, Finland. Love it. The Inappropriate Heifer says that's fierce. Love it. I think you're talking about the book cover. Really appreciate that. And here's a question. Did you ever lose hope in the quite intimidating task of writing a book? I never did. I never lost hope. I never ran into a kind of a writer's block thing. I think on my next book I will, because it's going to be fiction, not nonfiction. But I'm trying to think if I never did. I never had that. I went through periods where I wondered if it was actually a good book. And now I've gotten so much positive feedback that I'm like, I know enough to not, when I don't think it's good, to not even trust that, to just move on, because you just have to keep pushing it. And I have to say that I started writing this like last January, February. So part of my goal was, everybody else, I think Mark Headley wrote his book, a very good book. I loved his book. He started writing it, I think it came out about 4 years after he left. And that's pretty short. Most people, it's like somewhere like 5 to 10 years. A lot of them are closer to 10 years before they begin to look back and have the perspective and really feel comfortable to write a book. I wanted to do it while I was literally hemorrhaging. Like, I wanted to do it. People were saying, don't you think you should wait a while and get some distance and get some perspective? And I thought, that's another book. I want to do this one while it's so fresh in my mind, and where, like, I had to seek advice from people who'd been out for a while to help me keep honest about how I spoke about certain things, so that to make sure that I was really digging down and analyzing them for all the things that they really were. So, and in that sense, writing this while I was kind of going through it was really therapeutic. I mean, when I finally left Scientology, I sat on my sofa for a year and a half, and I played Overwatch, and I was just completely, this close to just doing myself in. And then I got up and I said, I'm going to write a book, and then sort of everything else became boring. And then when it was nearly complete, people started coming to me and saying, I really want to help you do this, like the person who, a noted book designer who's going to remain anonymous. They don't want their name associated with it, which is fine. They were like, no, I have to do this just for myself. I have to do your book. I mean, this is a noted book designer with over 50 credits, like that they don't even advertise because they're so busy. And they sort of helped me take it to the next level. And it's just like everything that I wanted to do, that I only could dream of doing with this book, I've been able to do. Let's see what Denver Steve-O has. Yeah, Mitch has, Denver Steve-O, he knows me really well, okay? And he knows that I have crap instincts. So I just need to trust the rest of us. So thank you, Steve. I really appreciate it. Steve is also my therapist, in case you guys were wondering how he knows me so well. Get out of here, Steve. So anyway, what is this? Painful honesty. Some of it was painful. I was also lucky. My kid's going to hate me saying this. One of my kids, who just turned 30, actually, read a bunch of it, and it really put me to the test about, like, nah, sorry, Dad, that's just bullshit. So I did have that. Catherine, hi. We should talk again soon. Hi, Catherine. One of my favorite survivors. Hey, I understand we are going to be talking soon. Apostate Alex said that we're going to be doing a stream in the near future, which I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, what are you doing up so late? By the way, Catherine, what the hell's going on? Yep. See, told you. Okay, so that was Denver Steve-O saying what he said was what I said was the truth. So, Auntie Harju, Mitch was visiting all those experiences, more painful, was visiting all more or cathartic or something else. Um, there is only one part of it. I'm not going to do a spoiler, but there is the second something really horrible happened to me while I was at Gold. Really horrible, really painful, really difficult to talk about, and that was tough to write about. Like the first time I wrote about it, I immediately jumped 3 weeks forward past when this thing happened, and then started describing a whole nother scene, and then slowly started writing about what had happened as flashbacks, as though I was walking on the beach and you didn't know what happened. Like, well, how did he get there? And then all of a sudden I'm sharing my thoughts and you're realizing how I got there. And I thought it was pretty cool because, I'm a filmmaker and it felt very much like a filmic device. But then I had my crowdsourced editors, 3 very talented helpers that I was able to connect with thanks to Mike Render. They were all kind of like, kind of lost here. So I had to. You'll know what I mean when you read it. I mean, it's about going through pretty much one of the worst things you could possibly imagine happening to yourself. Um, so yeah, the answer to your question, it was more cathartic because I've been writing for I don't know since the late 70s or early 80s. I've been writing all kinds of things. I've never published anything I've written. I filmed things that I've written, but I've never published anything as writing. And I've only studied film writing and script writing. So the book is very visual. I've written it from the viewpoint that I'm trying to trigger a movie in your mind as you read it. Like I want you to see it as a film. So yeah, and so I'm sort of looking at these things in that way and trying to reinterpret them as like a flow of images. I found that incredibly cathartic. And then when I finished that I guess it's the second to the last chapter about what happened at the end, I was so relieved that I had gotten through that. And then the most difficult thing I've got to tell you, okay, thank you, Catherine. I can't wait for you to read it. The most difficult thing for me was I had no idea how to end it because, if you think about a lot of people who've written books, they wrote their books when they were in a pretty good place. They left Scientology, they'd started families, they were working, they were stable. I left Scientology, I became not well mentally or physically. I started having a lot of problems, and I became very financially insecure because I lost all of my work and I had no credits in my industry because I'd been gone for so long. So how do I end it? How do you end a book when the story is not it doesn't feel like okay, great, and then everything was great. But when I figured that out, and the last chapter is very short and it needs to be short, but when I actually figured that out, how that I could end this story, I basically kind of cheated. I just quoted Orson Welles. I mean, that's just like a cheap shot. Orson Welles very famously said, and this is a spoiler alert, but he very famously said that if you want a happy ending, of course, that depends on where you end your story. And so and my version of that was if you want a happy ending, you just end your story before things get shitty again. And so I kind of made this point that really none of us know where our story is going to end, but kind of like this is where this one's ending. It's ending here. And that kind of really worked. Like when I went back and I read it, I was like, oh, boo hoo, because it was so satisfying. And I hope that carries over. Yeah, there'll absolutely be an audiobook version. As soon as we finalize the manuscript, I'm going to pump it out as quick as I can. I think I can do it if I don't get too distracted, like in 2 weeks. I think it'll only take 2 weeks because I'm going to produce it myself with the help of one of my kids who's an audio musician type person. Thank you, Danielle. And you're very welcome. Danielle said, looking forward to your book. Farsec Psych, great name. Said thank you for your work. You're very welcome. And yeah, and the inappropriate Huffer says, and now my life begins. Yeah, kind of. You kind of got it. You kind of, that kind of captures it a little bit. Yeah, I didn't quite go that far because you don't anyway. But that's you're absolutely right. Yeah. Oh, this is great. I'm sorry, guys. I'm done with the ending, but I love your suggestions. And so the story continues in a better vein. I don't like the word vein. I used to be a heroin addict when I got into Scientology. So a better vein means. So anyway, just that's kind of a tasteless joke. Uh, yeah, you're very welcome, Parsec Psych. Thanking me for the compliment. I'm just happy you guys are here. I needed to get this video out, so I thought, well, maybe one person will show up. I'll have somebody I can talk to because I needed to get this done by the end of the month, and Halloween was perfect. And as soon as it hits November 1, we go right into Dia de la Muertos. So this is like 2 days of dancing with the devil. Okay, Love Food Kitchen. I'm smelling Chinese food and I'm feeling satisfied just from your name. Always complaining about the lack of UK time friendly streams, but getting to wake up to the smooth tones of Mitch definitely makes up for it. I think I'm going to start doing this. I need more practice doing this. And I think Sterling and I did one. We started at 9 and we decided to start doing stuff at night. And then I think I'm going to just start doing it after the one with Sterling, just because it's just kind of great. The house is quiet, the dog's asleep, the lighting is really good because I have no ambient light. Where I stream from, there's ambient light during the day, so my lighting's not quite as good. Yeah, so yeah, definitely we're working on that, on getting some more UK friendly streams. Plus, I have good friends in the UK. And I like them to be able to watch. And this says, Vegan 3 said, I wish you would watch that Ed Begley Jr. interview. You guys were so much alike. That's so funny. I went to junior college. If you're in the UK, we have a thing here called junior college or city college. It's like a 2-year university, not really university, but it's 2 years. It's like an AA called Associate Arts Program, which you might go to transition into a 4-year school. You can get your first 2 years out of the way. And I'll tell you a funny story. Yeah, I love Ed Begley. We're big fans of his in this household. Ed Begley Jr., that is. So when I went to art school, you read all about this in my book, but I started college and art school in Northern California. I didn't particularly like that. I moved back to LA and I went to LA City College and I was a classmate of Ed Begley Jr. He, at that time, was studying to be a cameraman. He intended to be a cameraman. His father was a towering figure of an actor. Ed Begley won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor in a film called Sweet Bird of Youth. And I always thought that Ed kind of lived under his father's shadow. So he didn't want to be an actor. So he's becoming a cameraman. And because we had a couple of teachers at LA City College who were really top-notch cinematography teachers. And one of them went on to be head of cinematography at University of Southern California. Anyway, so I became friends with Ed for a brief period of time. We hung out and did some stuff. And, we hung out with Jeff Goldblum because they were like friends. And I ended up, this is so bizarre. Yeah, St. Elsewhere. Yeah, Denver Steve. Yeah, but he's just done so much great work. I mean, his work on Better Call Saul is remarkable. I mean, Ed Begley Jr. has just so much good work. But I ended up one night at Jeff Goldblum's house playing Monopoly with Ed Begley Jr., Jeff Goldblum, and Harry Dean Stanton because I worked out at a gym for a while with Jeff Goldblum before I worked at Gold. And we were friends for a while, and he invited me to his house before he was a huge superstar. I mean, everybody knew who he was. Yeah, okay, so what does this say? This says, yeah, he just wrote a book. He wrote a book. His interview on YouTube was awesome. Great Hollywood stories. Absolutely. No, I'm going to watch it because I'm a huge fan of Jeff's. He lives in my neighborhood. If I ever bump into him, I'm going to remind him that we used to hang out together. We went to, I'm sure he'll remember. He's that kind of guy. But he grew up, I mean, he was raised in a Hollywood family. His father was a famous actor. And I'm sure he has amazing stories. And he's a great guy. He's like, very pro environment and very sort of pro social justice. So yeah, I have a great deal of admiration. And if you think we're anything alike, I consider that as a huge compliment. I mean, we're the same generation. Okay, now this is interesting. I'm glad you mentioned this. Forsyth Sykes says, I've read all of Marty Rathbun's books. Have you read them? And if not, have you considered reading them? They reveal some very interesting info into his psyche. Okay, so let me just tell you what's not on my list of pursuing anything having to do with having a better understanding of Marty Rathbun. I mean, there's very few people that I would genuinely not walk across the street to take a piss on if they were on fire. And one of those is Marty Rathbun, because that is a despicable character. I mean, even when he left and he was hooked up with Mike, and they were doing as Dave Miscavige used to call it, when they were doing the Church of Marty, as he pejoratively discussed that. So even during that time when he was speaking out against the church, I never trusted him. Like, it didn't. I was working at S&P when he, quote unquote, turned, became a turncoat and spoke out against all of his friends who, like Mike Render and so forth. I was in the conference room at Scientology Media Productions when Dave walked in and said, Marty's back. I mean, he literally said Marty's back. It was so much bullshit because Marty wasn't back. Marty was just, for whatever reason, he did it. And I could tell you my theories, whatever. But he was basically saying he's come in and he's willing to work with us. So if anybody ever wondered if Miscavige had anything to do with that, absolutely. And then I got the assignment to do the camera planning for the interviews. And then I went back to Gold, so somebody else followed through with it. But my friend Rachel, who, Hastings, who I worked with at S&P, she knows all about that. She was involved somehow in some of that. So what else do we got here? Can we purchase? Okay, hold on. Yeah, no, I get it. He wrote 3 books. I'm sure they're interesting. Marty is not a stupid person by any stretch of the imagination. He does have a brain. He's just like David Miscavige. He's a psychopath and he has no emotional IQ whatsoever. But I mean, he made with his wife and his kid, and that may be a whole different thing. I'll give him that. But I'm kind of not interested in reading his books. I mean, I was really manhandled by this guy. I'm just like, I sort of don't care, but maybe I will. I don't know. So hey, Rev Girl, hi Rev Girl. She says, I like your book cover. When can we purchase it? Well, you're going to be able to purchase it. The target date, and I'm going to do everything I can to make this happen, is to get it through the Amazon. What do you call it? The hurdles, whatever they are, we'll get it uploaded. They need to look at it, blah blah blah. So the idea is we did a very tight schedule to get it onto Amazon on Black Friday, and if you can purchase ebooks maybe ahead of that, I'll let you know. And then you can go to the website. You can go to Scientologythebiglie.com and you can sign up for email. But also, if you're subscribed to my channel and if you've activated the notification bell, you'll find out, because the moment that you can buy it, I will announce it. And if you've left an email on or even contacted me any way possibly with an email, I will absolutely make sure that I let you know. Shelley S. says, I understand that feeling with my whole soul. I hope she's talking about my feelings about Marty. Yeah, he was a real piece of shit. I've written about him in my book. We had some interesting activities together, Marty and I. Rev Girl. Okay, well, if you need to, Rev Girl says she's really getting tired. So listen, if you need to go, thanks for being here. Spread the word about the book and that you love the cover. Just remember, you can quote Retired Red. Love the cover. Okay, so here you go. You know what? I'm going to play it again. Somebody missed it. Okay, I'm just going to leave it up there for a little bit. How about that? If y'all get sick of it, you can just tell me to take it down, and I probably won't. My wish is your to be. Yeah, okay. Christmas, yes. Bookstores, hopefully bookstores by Christmas. I'm also publishing through Ingram's. That's where bookstores order books. So if you live near a bookstore or if you happen to be in a bookstore, do me a favor. Don't do it yet. I'll let you know. By the time the book is out, like on Black Friday, if you're in a bookstore, like a whatever that I forgot what the one that starts with a B. Um, Ask them, just go up to them and say, hey, do you have Scientology, The Big Lie? Just ask them, and they'll look in their computer and they'll see that it's available from Ingram's, and they'll order it, hopefully, uh, which would be really super cool. Just to get that book in bookstores so that the public sees the cover and they like, even if they don't buy it or read it. I mean, one of the reasons that I named the book this is so that it would have instant messaging on a thumbnail on Amazon or on a book cover in a bookstore, that it wasn't some, convoluted title that, you had to read the back cover to really realize what it was about. Uh, Farsick Sykes said, and we're talking about Marty Rathbun, he's a very sociopathic individual, cruelly based off of his autobiography. And going forward is so fascinating seeing his turn and then turning back and watching his videos. It's incredible. Yeah, it's amazing. Totally amazing. Excuse me, it's the beer. And the chips. One of my theories is that why he did that. I mean, he did it for uh, he did it for money and whatever else. Uh, you can get a signed copy. Well, you missed the thing on. I was running an Indiegogo. I might start it again um, because I am going to order some copies, and we'll figure out how to give them away and sign them. So we will work that out, Rev Girl. I don't have a specific way. I was running an Indiegogo campaign. It's ended to raise some money for publishing, finishing costs, design, just not a lot of money. And we exceeded the campaign target. And anybody who donated $50 or more is going to get a signed book. So I'll work something out along that line. So, but I'm glad for your interest. I would love to get you a signed book. I'll figure it out. Vegan 3 says too many sociopaths in this cult. Well, I think that goes for all cults because, sociopaths flock to cults. Well, I'll tell you who flocks to cults. Shelley S. says sociopaths flock to cults like moths to a flame. Who flock to cults are people who have lots of empathy and are very idealistic. And the people that form cults in order to take advantage of those people are sociopaths. And then they do then attract sociopaths. But there's a lot of, okay, so retired Rhett. I'm going to quote him. He's talking about, I don't know if that's a male or female. Not that really matters. Gender has nothing to do with it. Hey, tell us how you identify. But thanks. I'm assuming you're talking about the cover. What do we got going? That's not cover. Okay, this says, will you be doing some signed copies of the book? Many of us are happy to pay a premium to cover the added organization form. Yes, I will absolutely do that. Like this is going to happen in layers. First, I got to get it done. I got to get it on Amazon. I have to get it available through Ingram so the bookstores can order it. I got to do an audio book, and then I'm going to order a stack of books and sign them all. Actually, I'm not going to sign them because as I get them out to people, I'll sign them personally to them, unless you don't want me to, because I've heard that signed books are more valuable if they're not to a specific person. But I don't know about that. I mean, what do I know? I went to art school and then film school. Okay, so what do we got here? Shelley S says so many victims ready and available to them. Yeah, it's absolutely right. I mean, the world is so full of incredibly idealistic, empathetic people, and they get preyed on. I think that's why this community that's sprung up around the people who left Scientology and are speaking out, this community is so vibrant because we're all sort of, we've all been like subject to having our better angels seduced in very painful ways. And that's not cool. And it's almost like there's a reckoning going on, pushing against that. Okay, good, Rev Girl. You go to sleep now, knowing that you will absolutely, we'll figure out how to get you an autograph book. Auntie Harju says at Vegan 3, in a way, the church is a sociopath training program, like getting rid of the feelings one might still have and berating emotional response. Yeah, I refer to Scientology as a finishing school for narcissists because, so much of Scientology study and so forth is aimed at taking you from a place of identifying you as kind of meaningless. And, you're basically, you're indoctrinated to believe that you've been lied to and that this idea that the universe is infinite is a lie because it's not infinite, you're infinite. So one of the profound fundamental ideas in Scientology is to flip that around so that you become infinite and the universe around you becomes infinitesimally small. And so essentially you're being groomed to think of yourself as a god, which is a total fiction. And in that sense, you become very narcissistic. Oh, Danielle, that's so sweet. Daniel Chamberlain said, "Love the title, Mitch. Clever." I went through a whole. I should do a stream, and I'll tell you all the other titles I had. Some of them were pretty funny. A number of them included the word confession, but it's not a confession. I'm not confessing to anything. I'm just telling you what the fuck happened. Yeah, I kind of imagine that Vegan 3 said that cover will appeal to all the dark occult fans. I imagine people picking it up. I mean, they're going to be a little there is some very interesting dark things in it. And I don't think they'll be disappointed, even though it's not one of those books, even though the cover kind of looks like it's kind of UFO culty, but Scientology is kind of a UFO cult. I mean, it's like they don't really talk about it that way, but yeah, thanks, Barnes and Noble. So if you live near Barnes and Noble, go in there. Once the book is on Amazon, bookstores don't buy books from Amazon. Once the book is on Amazon, go into Barnes and Noble and ask them if they have Scientology: The Big Lie. And what they'll do is they'll look it up on the computer. They'll see it's available from Ingrams, and they'll say, "Would you like us to order it for you?" And say yes. Just buy a copy for the hell of it from Barnes and Noble. And there's certain towns where nice retired red as a female, you identify as a female then. Anyway, there's certain towns that they count at towards the New York Times bestsellers list. So if you live in one of those, tell me and I'll send you money to buy the book. Because believe it or not, there's a handful of bookstores and they count the sales from those bookstores. And then that's how they calculate the New York Times bestsellers list. It's not everything. Hey, happy to meet you, retired red female. A friend and I were talking the other day about how they need to stop putting gender on birth certificates. Like they look at your junk and they go, "Oh, they should just write sausage or taco." That's what we decided. And then they could just leave it up to the person. Oh, yeah. Very funny. She said, "I'm a female Mitch." And well, hello, female Mitch. Oh, so retired red is were you saying I'm a female Mitch or I'm a female Mitch? Because we kind of want to know. So that's an important distinction. Vegan 3 says, "I'm always amazed when Scott Kramer talks about how he used to be. He doesn't seem to have a mean bone anywhere now." Yeah, I know. And the thing that I really love about Doug is the way he sort of has held himself culpable for his previous personality. And he is such a sweet guy. I've never met him personally, but we've talked a lot. I've been on his channel and he really is a good guy. I mean, we've had a lot of just talking to each other on the phone. And yeah, he's a great guy. Anyway. Rev Girl says idealistic in empathetic. Idealistic in empathetic. I'm sorry, it's late, guys. I've had too many beers like me. Yeah, exactly. I knew that about you without even meeting you in person. Here's a question. Daniel Chamberlain wants to know, did you know my friend Derek Cussworth at Gold? That does not ring a bell. You'd have to tell me what years he was there and what he did. Because Gold was kind of weird in the sense that, there was hundreds and hundreds of people there. They all knew me, but I didn't know that many of them. I knew a bunch of executives, like Mike Rinder, and I knew Amy, and I knew whatever. But and I worked with Mark Headley. So a lot more people knew me than I knew. This says, it has to be way past your bedtime, Mitch. I hope you're taking care of yourself. This is Hannah Reynolds, who's trying to be a caregiver. Look, I didn't really sleep. I'm sort of bereft of that medicine. I have like very severe sleep issues. So this is 12:11 is fine with me. I'll just sleep in a little bit tomorrow. I wanted to get this out of the way. Hey, plus it's now officially in LA. It's Dia de los Muertos. So, but yeah, it's not past my bedtime. I usually stay up pretty late. Santa rhymes. What? Santa rhymes with Donna. Okay. Oh, Stana. Sorry. Stana rhymes with Donna. Hello. Got on late. Really love the cover. It conveys the darkness that you and others have shared about COS. Thanks for sharing it. Yeah, that's exactly what it was intended to do. It's a highly, I'm a huge fan of German Expressionism. It's maybe my favorite or top three styles of art. It's a hugely influential style of art in filmmaking in general, but especially for me. I mean, I'm really kind of cuckoo for German Expressionism. You could wake me up at 4 a.m. and I'll go to a show with you to see German Expressionist painters. And this very much looks like German Expressionism with a little bit of a twist on it. And I wanted flying saucers with Hollywood Klieg lights. And then we have all of this. I guess you guys saw it. We have, where is it? That's the. Are we seeing this? I think we're seeing this. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold on one second. Yeah, hold on. For you who missed it, share this tab. Okay, good. For any of you who missed it, there's also, I don't think this is showing up because I don't know what that, now I'm just like fucking losing it because it's just so late. I mean, it's not that late. Okay, here we go. For those of you who showed up here late, at mitchbrisker.com, there's a merch store with some of this really amazing art that is also in the book. It uses chapter headings and different things that are meant to, like this guy is one of my favorite. This is Wolfie, by the way. And he's kind of a masked wolf in a rumpled suit. He's very much a cult leader. And he has his little evil sheep, wolf-like sheep behind him. It's a very kind of neo-German expressionist. I don't know what to call it. And then we have this other collection. This is the Angry Sheep collection. Kind of scary, but it's very German expressionistic if you're familiar with that art form at all. And then we have the, this guy, the alien worshiping Messiah. So, if you pick up a mug and then the back of it says, what does it say? It says, how I made an evil cult look good. So, and as I was saying, the money from the sales, these are only going to be available until the book's released. Then I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to take it down because I want it to become a special. Maybe we'll extend it with some other products. It's kind of up to you guys. If people want to keep doing this. But right now, I'm doing this merch store to raise money for the marketing campaign. Yeah, Vegan 3 says it's true. I knew so many narcissists, absolutely. And Amy, she says, I had terrible dreams. DM was a lizard person. Yeah, it's just, yeah, okay. Yeah, I can't even comment to that because it's just, Rev Girl, okay, Mitch, I'll head to bed. Join me live tomorrow at 10 a.m. our time. Oh, our time means you're in my time. Yeah, okay. 10 a.m., you're doing something. Okay, good. If I'm up, I will definitely check it out. Rev Girl, is there someplace I need to be subscribed to that I don't know about? Part 2 of my story, fantastic. So, can you just tell us, Rev Girl, where this is? Is it your channel? Whose channel? And the inappropriate heifer says, Amy, that's scary. I'd rather have a horned goat visit me than that short stack Scientology simp. Very nice. Oh, how do I get my book in the libraries? Well, the first step is to get it published through a company like Ingram's, a wholesaler that libraries will order books from. But I think it's the same thing. People have to ask at the library, hey, do you have this book? And then the libraries, they'll look in the computer, see that it's available, and may order it. So that's the only way I know, other than to get a box of them printed and take it down to a library and donate it. But I don't know. I mean, I know people, the Church of Scientology used to get parishioners, quote unquote, parishioners, members to buy books for libraries. But the libraries, I've talked to people later, the libraries would just toss them out because they really didn't want to have that stuff in there. And Vegan 3 says, actually, the cover looks somewhat like an offshoot of an old Scientology cover, Gothic cult. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like expressionist Gothic cult. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Amy. She says it's a compelling cover. And Rev Girl says vegan Scientology is a dark cult. Well, I don't know about vegan Scientology, but I do know about dark cult. Yeah, I think you can do this. I think you can buy a copy and donate it, which would be fantastic. I mean, the other way is I've had some. I recently did. I can't tell you who, but I recently did an interview with a major media entity, and that's going to help a lot. Like if that, I'm just fingers across that that's going to come out before the book is published, let alone hopefully come out at all, because sometimes they do these interviews and they don't use them. But that would be another way that would create demand, and the bookstores, they'd see it like, oh, they'd read about it in some kind of media, and then that gives them the motivation to want to put it in the store. Thank you for that, Denver Steve-O. If you like sausage tacos, that's cool. That's cool. You can be, that would be like non-binary, I think. You could be non-binary. That's totally cool. Or you could be gender fluid. I'm a female, Mitch. Sorry. Okay, I got it. I thought so. I didn't think you were really a female, Mitch. I thought you were a female, comma, Mitch. You got to watch those commas. They'll really mess you up. This is, I think you're referring back again to Ed Bigley Jr. I'm sure he does. He's such an amazingly interesting guy, and he's done so much remarkable work. My kind of man, Steve. Okay, I'll let you guys figure it out on your own. My local library had 0 on Scientology. I buy a book, read it, then donate. Hopefully it opens some eyes. Yeah, fantastic. That's a great idea. Yeah, Doug is a great guy. You know what I love about Doug is he refuses to monetize his channel because he just wants to do whatever the hell he wants to do. I really appreciate that. He's a really smart guy. Did you watch the interview Aaron just did with Lisa Marie's half brother? I started to watch it and then I couldn't. I was it didn't catch my interest, and I was busy. He was kind of like not. I didn't think he was very interesting. I didn't think he had anything to add to the conversation. I mean, it was mildly interesting. He was kind of like, you know, he just didn't have a lot to say. I think that was of much note. Doug says things others won't say. Vegan 3 says, yeah, he definitely is. He's very lively. He brings a lot to the conversation. I really enjoy listening to him. Yeah. Okay. So Amy Shu says, glad I got to catch a late night. Yeah, I know there's not a lot of people here. I don't really care because you guys are awesome just for being here with me because I needed to get this done today. And I also need the practice because I'm still kind of new at this and I'd like to do more of it because I want to do this in parallel with having a book. Oh, Amy, thank you so much. Woke up from another nightmare. Mitch's voice is calming. Well, it's not calming to me, but I appreciate you saying that. I'm going to have to, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to do the book, obviously, myself because I couldn't afford to hire anybody, but I don't think anybody would want to listen to, a book like mine. Like I want to hear the person that it happened to read it. I never read Mike Render's book, but I listened to the audiobook, and he has a very soothing voice. He talks kind of very slow and deliberately, and I don't know if you've listened to his book, but it was really incredible. Is there a setting that displays the store below the video? I see that elsewhere, but not here. I'm not quite sure. This is Hunter Reynolds asked that. Below which video? Is there a setting that displays below the video? I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out. Hey, we just picked up from a poet. Hey, y'all. Welcome aboard. Welcome to a very late night with Mitch. Night, Rip Girl. Okay, don't forget to put question if you're gonna get something answered. It helps to put. That's an interesting question. What do I think COS and DM will say about you when this comes out? And how do you think they view you now, besides being an SP? I don't know because, oh man, that's an interesting. I don't know. I mean, I got this one really silly letter from the port captain. That's a legal representative, not a legal actual person at Gold, and it was written to me stationary from Gold, not through the LA offices where you would expect to get something legal. And basically, it was just telling me that I need to sit in the corner and consider what a bad man I am. That was really all it was. Oh, and they said that I had committed $750,000 in NDA violations, which is a bunch of BS. Okay, that's the answer to that question about merch store showing below this video. Well, we could do this. I can't, hold on. I can't do it. Is that it there? Yeah, hold on. I can do it like this, but then I have to jump on that page and whoops, kind of screw that up. Yeah, there's not really a way. Plus, it wouldn't be live anyway, but it'll be live on YouTube shortly. and that'll be a lot of fun. So for those of you who just came late, here's the winner of the caption contest. The winner was Ideal Borg, aka CEO Bilf. Um, so as I'm saying, did you see Brooke Shields is over by the punch bowl? And Dave is saying, yeah, she's been staring at Norman all night. He should go over there. What's the worst that could happen? Anyway, it was kind of funny. So this says very interesting that they've. Oh, so this is Love Food Kitchen. It is very interesting that they've stayed quiet about Mitch so far. Complete contrast to virtually everyone else. I wonder whether the book will tip them over into action. Yeah, I'm kind of feel a little bit left out that they haven't done anything but send me this one shitty letter. So yeah, because I get worried that people would think, maybe I'm working for the church or something because I never get a text and I don't even have a hate site. And when I went to do my website, this when I went to do mitchbrisker.com, when I went to do this, it was available, and I would never bother to buy it because I didn't care. I thought they were going to buy it like they did with Aaron Smith Levins and make a hit site out of it, but it was totally available. So apparently, I don't know what it is. I think that they're so busy, and I don't know. And I also think that if maybe it's better that they don't come after me because it's going to get really ugly. Like if they bring legal action against me, there's some people at Gold that I'm going to bring legal action against for workplace harassment, elder abuse, and workplace bullying, and I'm going to just file a lawsuit against them. So I think they kind of know that they well, why go there? I mean, I'm sure they'll do something. They'll tell you that I was nobody, that I was just some person that was hired. And, I was disgruntled because they fired me, and that in my private life, I'm like a total sexual pervert. Which might be true. I don't know. But anyway, I'm sure they'll do all that kind of stuff. But, the thing is I have letters from David Miscavige that says saying that we're friends and like all the great work that I did. So it's a little awkward. It's a little hard for people to put up a hate site about you when you have you have that kind of stuff, if you know what I mean. Okay. Yeah, this is actually a very good comment. Anti Harju says, I wonder if making hate sites doesn't seem as compelling to COS nowadays because the targets just laugh it off and take them as trophies. Yeah, I think so. I mean, the Cracker Liquor is a really good example. These videos, like the Cracker Liquor video, that woman who did that, she used to be my script supervisor, by the way. Her name's Stephanie. And that's about all she could come up with was that stupid thing. But I think you're right about that because it's like everything that they publish about any of us just gets turned back against them. This says, will some of that stuff be in your book? Oh yeah, Denver Steve. I was thinking you should make your own. I was thinking I may make a parody one for myself. If they don't make one for me, I'm gonna make one called Mitch Brisker, the big liar, something like that. Anyway, the inappropriate Humper says, will some of that stuff be in your book? Do we get a teaser? Yeah, some of it is. I'm not going to really give you a teaser on that. Here's the thing. Okay, here's your teaser. I like the title of the book says How I Made an Evil Cult Look Good. My job primarily was to make Scientology and David Miscavige look good, not to make other people look bad. I know who does those hate sites. There's a guy named Randy Stitt. I was friends with him for years. I knew him from the industry before we worked for Gold. We worked together in TV commercials, and he's kind of the guy who writes all of the hate sites and does all the CCHR videos. So I did some of that stuff. Like I was be brought in to read it and give editorial help and like read these hate things. And I helped on one against Karen de la Carriere. She tells the story. Like when I got out, I called her up and I said, "Hey, you don't know me, but she certainly knew who I was." And I said, "Listen, I wanted to apologize to you because I worked on this hate site." And she was like, "Hate site? I didn't even know there was a hate site." And that's so sweet of you to call me. But yeah, I do talk about some of that stuff. I talk about in the later times, I talk about some of the corruption at OSA. And so, and the book pretty much explains why OSA has been unable to put out a copy of Freedom Magazine since 2019. I mean, one of the reasons OSA exists is to put out the voice of Scientology, Freedom, this magazine. And they hire legitimate journalists to come in and write real articles in the public interest. They had a terrific article in there a few years ago about the drought in California. I mean, it's actual real journalism. They hire these guys. They've all left, I think, except one, because of the way they were being treated. Even guys who were never in Scientology were starting to be the subject of abusive behavior. So a lot of stuff is in the book about how OSA was. I mean, you're not going to believe some of the shit in there that was going on at Scientology Media Productions, because that place was like, in some ways, it's better than gold because it was closer to my house and it was kind of not within barbed wire. But in other ways, it was worse. Ideologically, there were some really crazy people there. "Hey, Joni Cummings, how are you? I've been seeing you all day. Nice to see you." She says, "Hi at Mitch." Hi back to you. Okay, so from a poet, Brian Lucas, "I published my book mid-September and I haven't heard a peep. I guess I'm too much of a small fish in a big ass pond." Well, are you promoting it on YouTube? Do we know about your book? Are you doing anything with it promo wise? Because there's always that. Hey, thank you, Denver. I'll lick crackers for euros, Mitch. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Vegan 3 asks, what did you know? I thought I misread that question. I'll leave that to you guys. Question. This is from Hans Christian Schwartz. Question. Do you know someone who worked on Freedom Mag who would talk? No, I don't. I don't actually. I wish they would. They should. I do know people who should talk who don't work for them anymore, but they're not going to, at least not for a while. I mean, they're talking to me and they're probably getting shit about it because I just said they're talking to me. They're going to get fucking phone calls. Okay, you better believe it. So I probably shouldn't be doing that because I don't want to put those guys at risk. Oh, cool. You've been on with Liz Gale, Liz Ferris at Reese. Okay, cool. I'm just going to have to look for that and check it out because I don't know about your book. What is the title of your book? Would you mind sending us a message in the title of your book? Like maybe I'm the last person who knows about it. Whereas there you go. I wanted to do that. I was starting to feel a little small. So, okay, I'm waiting. Book title. Okay, well, we'll check it out. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap this up soon because it's getting hold on. Here it is. I sent you a PDF of it a little while ago. It's called All About Scientology. Oh yeah, I did. That's you. I read that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. The thing. Yeah, I don't think they're going to give you a hard time because your book, it's very kind of poking fun, like it's a fun book. I didn't realize that was you, Brian. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, that was very clever. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe you never know. Hey, Hey, congratulations, Joni. Joni started, she says, I started my own YouTube channel. Yay, Joni. I think it would make a great Christmas present. You should like send it around to people in the Sea Org. I wish we could like afford to get like an airplane and we could fly over the we could fly over the base and drop copies of your haiku, especially if we dipped them in cheap perfume first, because that would drive them crazy. Uh, Hans Christian Schwartz wants to know, Mitch's dog is making breakfast. No, that's not my dog. That's somebody else's. I don't know what they're making, but it's a little late for breakfast. The dog's asleep. Don't wake the dog up. Oh, okay. This is great. Hey, thanks. From a poet, Brian Lucas says, hey, if you want to talk about the book, I'll be more than happy to do a live with you to talk about it. Okay, so let's read it first, and then we'll have something to really talk about. Yep, vegan 3. Yep, ding, ding, ding. My son is banging pots, but it's totally fine because he's an awesome dude and he's helped me with my book. Uh, okay, great. I'm gonna bring this to like a controlled landing. I really appreciate you guys taking a look at my cover and giving me some feedback and telling me that you like it. So if you have any last questions, get them in now because I'm going to bail. It's been a really long day. Yeah, okay, Brian, I'll look for your email. Lim Lee says, "Wow, I like book cover." Yeah, thank you so much. Uh, okay, great. Vegan 3 says, "I think this is as close as I want to get to an org." You couldn't be farther from an org right now. Just being on my channel, it's pretty much not like an org. Uh, Mitch, if you come to the UK, you're welcome anytime. Thank you so much, Daniel Chamberlain. I have a lot of good friends in the UK. Like Apostate Alex has become very good friends. He helped me a lot with my websites and my merch store. And then I have a nephew named Hallie Brisker, who's a very successful hairdresser in the fashion world. You can look him up on Instagram. He's has a very impressive body of work. So I need to get over there because I have grandnephews who are British, and I have a nephew who's British, and I really love that country. You're welcome, Joni. Joni Cummings says thanks, Mitch. That was in reference to my wishing her well on her new YouTube channel, and the power lies to paralyze. The cover is amazing. Thank you so much. And here I got Andy Harshu says, best wishes with your brand new book. I'm looking forward to reading it. And I've watched a lot of your streams and your stories are absolutely amazing. I make a lot of shit up, but as long as you're enjoying it. No, 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 no. They're not bad for someone who was never in the Sea Org, right? Uh, anyway, listen, when is the protest? What day is it today? Is Wednesday. Okay. The protest is day after tomorrow, because it's now Wednesday, November 1st. No, it's day after tomorrow. It's on Friday. So listen, we're going to get together soon and we're going to share. Hey, Jeff, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hopefully I'll be seeing you soon. I want to do another stream with you. That last one was great. And I have a lot more to say. All of the things I forgot to tell you about. Yeah, here, I'll show you guys real quick before I leave. This is really funny. Hopefully it's still here. Yeah, this is kind of like, this is very Halloween. This is, where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is a guy who, I can't, what is his name? I'll think of it in a minute. This guy is a medical oddity. He was a railroad worker. His name was Phineas Gage. He's a medical oddity. He had he had a spike shoved through his head in the 1800s. He was drilling a hole and putting dynamite into a rock, and he tamped it down with a pole, and it blew up, and it went through his skull. And it changed his behavior. It altered his behavior. But then after about 6 weeks, he made an amazing recovery, and he was pretty much back to his old self, except he lost an eye and stuff. And the Citizens Commission on Human Rights, who I did a lot of work for, they claim that this story, this medical oddity, was the inspiration for the lobotomy, and this was a complete lie, because this guy actually recovered, and what he inspired doctors to be more willing to operate on the brain. And so, an entirely different story than the one I told at the Industry of Death Museum, saying that this is how they came up with the lobotomy. This is his actual skull and the actual rod. There's a pretty gruesome. I'm showing you this because it's like Halloween, and I forgot to show these. Anyway, Jeff and I are going to do more on psychiatry, right, Jeff? Right, Mitch? Yeah, okay, good. Jeff says, now that I'm settled here, we'll set something up. Great, glad to hear you're settled. Absolutely. Okay, good. So, Vegan 3, I'm Libra. I'm Libra. That's good. Nice to meet a fellow Libra. My birthday was September 26th. So anyway, I'm going to end this now. It's just about impossible to say goodnight to you guys, but I'm going to do that. So let me bring up my wonderful dog. The ending my dog. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for being an audience. So I had somebody to show my book cover to, and I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh!